Necromunda is the name of the game today, and you gits are in for a double dunter. But hello you, I'm earthmanbrick, and I'm here to give you a kit-bashed Goliath Mauler. It's a new model that GW only recently announced, and it isn't even out yet at this time of recording, and it looks pretty epic. But somehow I doubt the Underhive would be able to produce such pristine and high-class clean vehicles. So I'll be making mine slightly differently. No, that doesn't mean I'll be caking it in rust. Instead, it'll be a jury rig, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So, let's start from the beginning. Initially, I needed a head for our would-be vehicular operator. Yeah, a pretty vital component for most people. Even taxi and bus drivers are rumored to have heads. And since sculpting such small heads is a bit beyond my current skill set, I opted to sneak one out of the Necromunda game box set, since Goliath sprues sport several extra head variants. Man, I love me some extra appendages. So here's a quick unboxing of the Necromunda game before we delve deeper into our project. Hello there, it is I, earthmanbrick, and we're going to be unboxing this Necromunda Underhive. But before we do, we'll need to tear off that saran wrap. But I figured we'd have a quick look at the back of the box. Yeah. Yep. There is indeed a back of the box, so let's go open it. Ugh. And I'm going to be doing this unboxing with a different mindset. One more so towards my own skill sets, which is kit bashing and scratch building and making things with the intent to do bases and the such like. Open this bad boy up. That was the box, not me. So we get the fire templates. Nice. Blast markers. Ooh, terrain. Let's have a gander at this. So we get a tentacle. DM Scotty would like that. Pile of grenades. Hard to tell from this angle, but if we flip it around, ammo boxes. That's cool. A weird spiderweb skull thing. We'll be able to remold these. Remold a lot of this stuff, actually. This should be pretty damn perfect. Yes, I can see us making a lot of terrain from this. After taking molds of this crap. I mean, quality product. And here we go. We've got the traditional kind of wall section biddies. I don't know what this crap's for. We get a valve handle. That must be for one of the doors. There we go. You must just randomly stick it on there. There we go. But yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll definitely be able to make molds of this. Use it for making bases as well as future terrain. Solid. I really like this door. You only get one of it. But yes, lots of remolding potential. And here's what I opened the box for. We've got lots of, what is it? Asher. That's the Warman gang. You get a cool whip and everything there. That's pretty nifty. And I think this is is it the same sprue twice? Yes, it is. They're identical. So you get the same exact sprue twice. And I'll just overlay them there so you can see. There we go. And there'll be two of the exact same sprue of the Goliaths. So 2 gangs, Goliaths and the Asher. And yes, this is why I've opened this box up, is because we're going to be using the extra heads and such like that you get on this sprue for making a driver. Because we're going to be having a bash at making one of the new vehicles that was announced for the Ashland Wastes. And that was the Goliath Mauler, I believe it was called. So yeah, I think we'll definitely have to, because of the name Mauler, we're definitely going to have to go with a gas mask face. Is there one on here? That one looks like a suitable gas masky one. Yeah, that'll do nicely. That said, I've made and sculpted gas masks, but they're not nearly as detailed as these ones. Should be pretty cool. So yeah, I'll put one of those aside. Instructions. On a nice piece of card, no less. That's got to be the laziest freaking chevrons I've ever seen. That looks rubbish. The metal works fine. Tentacle in a sewer grate? Not so great. I can see why that was never really pictured in the box art or anything. Ah, so that's what those are for. The stands. Makes sense. And there's your... so you can fill these crates with different thingy-majigs. Timed bombs and all that crap. Anyway, don't care about that. Book. Nicely saran wrapped. Probably never going to read that. Ugh. Big cardy things. I think this is actually the battle mat as well. I don't know if these are double-sided or not. Be a shame if they weren't. But this should give me a good sizing for figuring out how to make my own. Bases, dice, empty baggies. Wow. And a shed load of cards. And what's really cool here is look at the inside of the box. Oh, we only get one ruler. That's a bit sad. It's just a piece of acetate. Bit depressing, really. But no, the inside of the box here is really nicely detailed. It's practically its own level. I've got to say, top marks to GW for doing this. This looks great. I love this. More of this, please. Very cool. Oh, that'll come in handy. Piece of clear acetate sprue. Can use that for the light or something. Well, I could have until I dropped it. Anyway, pile all that crap back in there. We've got the bits we need. So, heavy bits in first. That. Book. Cards. Dice. Yeah, I don't really rate these bases. They're alright, but you still have to paint them. Much prefer making my own. Throw in the baggies. Yep. Throw this crap back in. This and this I think I'll keep out so I can make some moldings of these. They're pretty cool. And yes, look at this. You get lots of extra little acrylic sprue pieces. And the sprue frame for this as well. The trouble is when you try and sprue stretch this type of acrylic plastic, because that's what it is, it tends to bubble up and you see little white bubbles in it. You have to be very careful when you're doing it. I mean, you should be careful when you're working with a flame anyway. But no, that should be fun to play with. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so opening the box for the sake of taking these. I'll just stop that there, and that'll be that. Well, I do hope you liked that little unboxing. Time to unbox the old Ork truck sprue too, so I can use the driver's arms. We're going full cannibal on this build. The only other plastic bit we go on to steal later is some old bolters, and that's from another thing which I would go into it. The rest of the vehicle is mostly elements we've built in previous ones, like the treads, saw blades, hazard strips, and even a control panel. Links in the description below. Click on them or I'll poo in your cereal. The yellowy bits are parts of the foreground laser cut card sprue frame. Speaking of foreground, we've got more of their shipping container kits, so I'll do a vid on those at some point. No doubt the emptied sprue frames from that kit will also become a brilliant resource for future projects. For the grinding mechanism of this vehicle, I've used a toothpaste and tomato puree paste caps. A little trick we'll be using on another upcoming Necromunda project down the road. Get it? Down the road? Because it's a vehicle? Yeah, that was a terrible pun. I feel bad for making it. Oh dear. I've made a lot of little pistons for the undergubbins of this machine using straws and cocktail sticks. The screen is also made using a clear food packaging, and the frame brackets are my beloved cable ties. Your wife, children, and friends may all abandon you and leave you in the gutter to die alone, but cable ties will be there to the bitter end. They'll cling to you forever, or until you get bored of them and cut them off. Where was I? Oh yes, I even topped this build off with a nice wee rhinestone. They make for perfect lights and buttons when it comes to modern and sci-fi builds. So looking at the back of the build here, we can see I've added some wires. I've added even a little bit of chain, because apparently that's part of the lore when it comes to the Goliaths. They're all about their chain, a bit like Mr. T. Yes, it's got something to do with slavery or some such. I'm not entirely sure. I should probably look it up, but I'm way too lazy. But I do know that the chains and whatnot remind me a lot of good old Mr. T. What a classic character he is. I pity the fool! Pity the fool. He was quite the cult icon back in the 1980s. Oh, yes, even had his own animated TV show. I wish I had my own animated TV show. That'd be awesome. I should probably thank you for watching this video, but I won't, and you can't make me. So bugger off. But before you do, take a moment to leave a post with words on it in the speaky talky section down below. Blah blah. Like, share, subside. Pretend I've said all the garbage. Bye.